Well, we are at UWL today, homecoming and 25th anniversary of the 1992 championship team, national champs, catching up today with All-American quarterback Jason Gonnion. Welcome back to lacrosse.
Thank you, Terry. It's great to be back.
Let's kind of relive a little bit of the past, starting with Beaver Dam High School. I read a little bit about you. You were quite the stud at Beaver Dam High School. Talk about those days.
Well, I tell you, we did have some good teams back in the day. My good friend Ben Murray was a running back that was an all-state kid, and my dad coached there for 30 years and was a defensive guy. And Charlie McDonald's a Hall of Fame coach as well. And yeah, we had a lot of good players come out of Beaver Dam, and proud of that tradition.
Jump to graduation. You're recruited all over the country, but you end up at Madison playing for the Badgers, and that lasted a couple years. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was great. I knew that I wanted to play Division I football, and I had it narrowed down to Wisconsin and Wyoming, and walked on at Wisconsin, played for Don Morton, and then at the end of that season he was fired, and brought in Barry Alvarez. And Barry Alvarez, I worked with him for a year, and as soon as a guy by the name of Darrell Bevel showed up, that was my exit ticket to UW Lacrosse. So.
Well, great exit ticket, because he goes a little bit north and he ends up at UWL. What a blessing to have you here. There were other schools perhaps that wanted your gift also?
Well, yeah, a lot of schools were interested in the drop back style quarterback, and for me it was really a matter of finding a university that was going to be a challenge, and a community that was great. And more than anything, Coach Herring built a program that was based on defense and running the football, and I knew that if you can tap into that, you can wind up winning a championship.
Well, as a result of that, again, Jason Gonnion, our guest today, here at UWL in the Wall of Fame. What a tremendous honor. And was it a surprise when you received that call saying, you have the ultimate of honors here at UWL?
It was, yeah, it was quite an honor. And I was cutting the grass, and I got a phone call from the athletic director, Kim Bloom, and was very, very honored. It's a lot of great players, and when you look at our national championship team, you could have really drawn a name out of a hat, and any one of them could be up there. So representing that team, I'm honored.
Well, as a starter here, 23-1-1 as the starting quarterback, tremendous career, deserves to be in the Wall of Fame, of course. And as a junior, you win the national championship, and you did it with only one blemish, by the way. That was River Falls. I remember those days when Roger Herring versus Mike Farley in the Wishbone offense. You tied 21 all there. Then after that, let's kind of relive that. You started with a win over Redlands here at home.
Yeah, kicking off the playoffs was brand new to me as a starter. So we brought the guys in from California. It was nice and frosty, and we took it to them. It was when you relive some of those game tapes, you'll see that the defense that we had was spectacular, and I think they kind of overwhelmed teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then you played Ohio State. You played Central College of Iowa, a great program, in game number 2. Any reflections on that? Yeah,
it was pretty cool because we got a huge snowstorm and moved the game to Iowa State, and fog was on the field, and they were one of the best teams in that area out of that conference, and allegedly the best they'd had in a while. And again, we just took it to them with some huge defensive plays, and our offense really clicked on the turf, and it was a lot of fun.
And then you come back to lacrosse and you play. I remember the day I was here. It was snowy, cold, snow removal from the field. You play Mount Union. You end up winning that game. But I remember some extracurricular activity in that game where they wanted to take you out of the game. Do you recall that?
Yeah, that was probably the worst injury that I had playing football. You know, we had such a good offensive line. I really never got hit much in those 2 years. But when we sealed the victory on a quarterback sneak, I wound up with my legs up in the air and a linebacker came over and twisted it and really lost his composure, and that was kind of a interesting way to wrap up that game because there was no other way to explain it. It was crazy.
I remember that, sitting in the frosty cold myself, and then on to Bradenton, Florida, sunny Bradenton, Florida, where you beat Washington and Jefferson 16-12, national champions. What's special about that game?
Well, I think that when you look at it and you relive it, our offense was solid, but our defense was spectacular. And then our special teams wound up being the difference in the game. And when you look at those three phases and you relive that 92 season, you'll see that guys had various roles, but they did them really well. They knew their assignments, and everything fell into place because we had great people, coaching staff, and guys in the huddle that really believe that if you work hard, you can get to the top of the mountain.
Fast forward to 1993, you were all conference again, All-American 2 years. You were Conference Player of the Year that year, team captain, got to the quarterfinals, didn't get to the national championship, but your season as a senior, you culminated with another successful season.
Yeah, it really was. It was disappointing because we wanted to win another national championship, and that's where we set our goals. But, we came up a little short, and I think that that's the life lesson that you take with you. Sometimes everything comes together, and it takes a little bit of luck, and it takes a little bit of chemistry. And unfortunately, as a senior, we didn't quite have that, but we still had a really good squad.
Well, catching up again with Jason Gonnion, you graduate in sports marketing, you get a degree from Minnesota, you get another degree in educational administration, and now where is Jason Gonnion?
Well, I'm an assistant principal at Eastridge High School in Woodbury, Minnesota. Absolutely love it. I've got a great team that I work with and really good kids. And I just enjoy being around high school kids and working in educational leadership. So very blessed to be up in the Twin Cities area.
And life lessons you learned here at UWL?
Oh boy, I think ultimately that if you work hard, you have fun, and you put the team first, you have an opportunity to be very successful.
And you had great coaches here, Roger Herring, Larry Terry, your offensive coordinator. Of course, you ran a completely different offense. What you see today, the game has evolved into a spread offense and so on. You had Tony Krasnovich, you had Raleigh Christensen, you had great coaches, and now you have a family of your own too.
Yeah, without a doubt. So all of those coaches you mentioned played a significant role in my life, and I've taken small parts of them and shared with my own family, and also with my as I've coached and even guided kids in education.
And your family's here to celebrate today. Your mom, your dad, your wife, your kids, and so on, and all the friends. And again, Jason Gonnion, part of the 1992 national championship team. And it will be introduced today and tomorrow. That's your big day when the brunch at UWL, you're in the Wall of Fame, and what a tremendous weekend for you and your family.
Yeah, very honored, and such of a pleasure to be able to be back on campus.
Well, our pleasure to have you on the show. I remember you at the club. By the way, he says he was basketball referee of the year in 1991. I'm sorry, but he was a referee, but he wasn't the best.
No, I wasn't. I was a terrible referee, and Terry, I appreciate you sticking with me through thick and thin there.
You're welcome. Well, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks a lot.
Jason Gonnion, again, our guest today here at UWL.